Thank you, Cami and Grant, for helping me get logged in here. Good morning, everyone. My name's Albert Clark. I'm over in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and probably couldn't be any further away from you. What I'd like to show you is something I've been working on for about 20 years. And you'd say, well, what do you mean 20 years? Well, 20 years ago, I built the first ever electronic newsletter for agents. And that's back when things were new, like AOL and Yahoo and CompuServe, Prodigy. I mean, Grant, you're so young, you probably don't remember any of those, right? So what we did was we got the agents to, getting engaged about this thing called email addresses, and who would ever want to type a message, right? So what we've shown you now is a ROG approved marketing program. And at the end of the day, we all know that real estate is a numbers game. So that's what we're trying to do, is help you with your numbers. So when I ask agents, why can't they do the best possible job of staying in touch? They all come back and they say, Al, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I don't have a whole system. So the urgency now is, and I don't know if your agent saw this story coming out of NAR, but every year they do a survey of consumers and how well they like the agent. Would they reuse the agent again? And the numbers are usually poor, but this set a new record last year. What we had last year was 91% of consumers said the agent did a great job on the transaction, gladly used them again, but only 13% did. Okay, so that's a 13% repeat business rate that's locked in for you guys. What if we could double that, triple that? I mean, I don't even know what your score is, but what we're trying to get at here is. Wow, where's that one coming from? Grant, are you hearing me okay?
It got jumbled there for a second, but I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, all right, it may be recovering. So what we're all about is trying to get more connections, trying to build more relationships, trying to nurture those relationships. And that's what we're here to help you do, because for the most part, agents aren't doing it. And how do we know that? Well, 9 out of 10 agents don't even have a clean, reliable database. And that's what we're going to do, is build one for them on day one. In fact, we will build one for you this afternoon if you want to engage with us. So these are just some of the spots where we can go and grab all the contacts, export them, clean them all up, and then put them into the database, and then they become exclusive. And what we mean by that, guys, is email addresses that we put in for agents can only be used once. No other agent using Home Actions anywhere in the country can attack Agent One's database, okay? So that's what we call the first mover advantage. And I know I'm getting calls from 3 of the agents in the office here now that want their list in first when they found out we were doing this today. But anyway, on the left-hand side there, you'll see an example. The newsletter goes out every 2 weeks. We write all the content. We give you a 4-day notice, so you get to, log in and see what we're sending out on your behalf. We will also be your publisher. We could take in your listings, just solds, open houses, testimonials, whatever you've got coming up. We could put your Angie's list in here, your roofers, your plumber, your contractor, your mortgage loan officer. But right now, what you're seeing there in that first spot is one of our most popular articles. What's sold down the street, when, and for how much? Everybody wants to know what's sold down the street. And if you're going to force them to go to Zillow to find that out, you're going to lose them. So that's why we want them doing all their research inside of your ecosphere, inside of your newsletter. So that is RPR. For the agents that have RPR, we will go in every 2 weeks, manually pull out some pretty cool reports, blast them right on the newsletter. And here's the unique part. When these predictive articles, and what's sold down the street is a very predictive article, because 40% of consumers that are clicking on that stuff are warming up for a transaction. So here's where some short-term business for you, okay? You're actually going to be in front of people that can put money in your pocket. And what do we mean by that is every 2 weeks, your newsletter goes into the home. They're using this content, opening, clicking, sharing, and it's becoming a great community for you to, get your word out there. So what we're talking about is writing articles that, when put into the system, make you look like you're an expert in home ownership, not just real estate, but home ownership. And there's a big difference there. So again, every 2 weeks, we do all the content, the writing, everything that needs to be done. And the agent has an opportunity to work with us to putting in listings, just solds, open houses. Here's another predictive article. We all know that 20%, you don't need 20% down payment anymore to buy a home, right? But most of the population still thinks that. So when somebody opens this newsletter, like the RPR one, boom, 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 a text and an email in about 30 seconds to let you know who just opened up that article. And some agents would say, well, big deal, why do I care? Well, people that are trying to find down payment money are probably trying to find a house too. Okay, so you're in there every 2 weeks as they're going through their little meager research projects, if you will. But we're tracking all these articles that we put in here for you. Here's another one. Your biggest complaint out there is probably low inventory or no inventory, right? So what if I told you that 7 out of 10 homeowning families you know right now need a CMA or a quick CMA because they simply don't know how much money they can get out of this house to put into the next house. And from what NAR tells us, these are the people that are sitting on the fence, not listing their house. So what if you could just get 2 or 3, 4 more people every couple of weeks that need a CMA? You reach out to them, get the conversation going, and get them that magic number, because they're not going to move without that magic number. We don't want them getting it from Zillow. We want them getting it from you. Okay? So that's our content philosophy. It's working pretty well. In fact, this is how the sold works. You just give us a bunch of zip codes and we'll go into RPR, pull up that content, blast it in there, and tell you immediately once it gets open, because that's what we call a conversation starter. You're not going to hear me use the term hot leads. We don't guarantee hot leads. We don't talk about hot leads. We deliver conversation starters. Now, how many and who? What I mean by this is, if you stop the average Realty One agent and said, hey, how many people are banging on your monthly market reports? They'd look at you like you had 3 eyes. Well, most consumers aren't going down to the 5th page of an agent's website to click on monthly market report. In fact, there probably isn't a lot of people that are hitting on the average agent's website. Okay, certainly they're not going to use, go down the page, keep going and keep going and keep going to hit this. So what do? We know that everybody likes market reports. So what we do is we put an article in your newsletter, and this was in Cammie's newsletter that everybody saw. How's the market, Cammie? Well, all you got to do is click on your zip code. We can put 10 zip code reports in your newsletter, and up is going to come the 3-page report. And you know what's going to happen 30 seconds later? Ding, ding, email and text to the agent, letting them know that somebody is interested in 93010 or any other zip code we put in here for you. So we take the tools you have and get more adoption of them, right? Because just throwing them on your website isn't going to work. The average consumer doesn't wake up in the morning and run to your website, but they do open the emails and they get them every 2 weeks. Now, here's a new program we kicked off a couple months ago with the largest family-owned real estate company in the country, Howard Hanna, out of Pittsburgh in Ohio. And what we're doing, we have 500 of their agents using our program, and we're convincing them that every 2 weeks before their newsletter goes out, they should send us an email with 5 or 6 small businesses that are on Main Street, if you will, in their area. So here they are trying to help small mom and pop businesses on Main Street, because we're building this directory over on the right-hand side there. Tom sends his newsletter out to 900 people every 2 weeks. Well, we do it for him. So every 2 weeks he calls us and he says, hey, add the new bagel shop, the dry cleaners, the small supermarket, whatever it is, we will take, build, and promote in that directory on the right-hand side. And Tom's getting a lot of PR points, from the people that own these small businesses. Hey, Tom, you didn't have to do that, but thanks. This is what we can do for you. There's no extra charge for this. All you got to do every 2 weeks when you get that 4-day reminder is say, hey, Al, I got 5 new small businesses that I want to promote. Bingo. We do all this stuff for you. Just give us the names. We'll find their website and phone number and everything else. Okay, so that's what we call public relations. In fact, getting endless public relations. I already mentioned about email exclusivity. Once we put emails in the system for you, nobody else can attack your emails, okay? And so you don't want to be the 20th agent in an office subscribing to Home Actions, because those 19 other people before you, they got a vast majority of their database in. If you're doing social media, okay, your biggest fear every day is you're going to run out of content. What should I write today? Well, we've got simply 1,200 articles in our library that you own, that you can use, repurpose, put on your blog, your website, right into your newsletter, or it takes about 10 seconds to get on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So these are articles that are all about home ownership. I'm going to move my guy down the bottom here. Articles about home ownership and everything that's going on with real estate and home ownership. And these articles are freshened up. They're never old, okay? And because we're talking about tax issues, okay? You've got to be current on those. So our editors have their pulse on what's going on all over the country when it comes to home ownership and real estate. Now, after the newsletter is launched, and this is where the fun starts kicking in, we're going to show you, in fact, I'm going to take you under my wing. If you do subscribe to our program today, I'm going to take you under my wing and manage your account for you, okay, to a certain point where you can take it over yourself. So the first couple of newsletters, you and I will be talking, and we're going to show you which reports to open up, which reports that sort of get across to you, here's what you should do now. Here's the engagement, here's opening, who's clicking, opening, sharing, et cetera, et cetera. So for this agent, we send 1,336 emails, 615 unique opens. That means they opened it at least once. Look at that number to the right there, 1,016. Half of your readers will open your newsletter multiple times, okay? Because we write it kind of long, we send it early in the morning, they tend to save it in their inbox. And you know, and I know, if you can get stuck in somebody's inbox for an extra 5 or 6 days, that's impression, 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 impression. That's what we're doing for you. We're building top of mind awareness of you and your brand because you're in there every 2 weeks helping them out. See that right small red arrow on the right there, 58 total trigger articles? That's 58 conversation starters we have for you. And what we mean by that is, here's all the people that opened up this article. Now, you and I deem that article to be relevant or what we call timely or, again, predictive. So we don't put alerts on every article because you'd be getting a lot of, notifications on your phone. So what we do is, before your newsletter goes out, we're going to be talking a couple times, and we're going to set alerts on some of these articles to let you know who opened them and when. Again, that's setting you up for a conversation starter. And then we get into our frequent flyers. Well, these are agents in your office that opened up Cammie's newsletter the other day. Matthew opened it 14 times, Carlos 10, Daniel 9, et cetera, et cetera. So you get to see all these live metrics. And when you add everything up and you put your sales hat on, you should have better conversations with your clients, prospects, and friends because you know what they're interested in. You know what they just read a few minutes ago. Okay? Now, your newest competitor, and I don't have to tell you about how much of a threat that Zillow is going to be in your life down the road, but what we're trying to do is slow down the defection of your clients to run to Zillow and never come back to your website. So what we've got is the reasons on the right here why people run to Zillow. Zillow's telling everybody, you don't have to pay those exorbitant commission rates. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, okay? Because they have a solution for it. And the most part they do, it's just sometimes wrong. But that's a different story. So what we're getting at is duplicating what Zillow has. So what we did was we went out and we took all these reasons why people run to Zillow, and we built this widget, which is a computerized article that sits in your newsletter, and it allows your readers to pull up 150 million street addresses. There aren't any more than that in the country. So 150 million addresses, they could just sit here and type all day, as long as they want, and pull up real deep data about any address and, of course, every neighborhood in the city or in a neighborhood within that surrounds that house. I send everybody one of these reports later on. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it. I could send you another one when you send me an email later on. So this is just a fast example. 59 Hillock Woods. We're going to give you demographics on there, give you some information about the home, what houses sold nearby recently. Everybody wants to know that, right? Rent versus own, tax information, cost of living. What's it going to cost us to move from where we are now to this neighborhood? We have all the components of cost of living. You can match them up, okay? But we could tell you that it's going to cost you probably 20% more to move to this area, or sometimes less. Income levels in the neighborhood. Let's move my picture here. 62,088 median full-time. Then we get into all the schools, right? Mostly you want to stay out of school information, right? Because you don't want to get in trouble. So we just tell them where the schools are, and they click those blue boxes and find out what school their child will go to. Okay, you don't want to be getting into that discussion. So again, and there's some scoring on all the schools here, how they rank with other schools in the area. Places to, this is our new Yelp inspired section. Places we're going to go for happy hour, places we're going to go for fine dining. You'll notice everything is under 3 or 4 miles away from that house, that address we pulled up. New stores that open in the area. The Whole Foods just opened up a couple weeks ago. Where you'll wag. Half of your clients have pets, right? Now you can't say you don't like pets because you do. Maybe you don't. Can't say it though. So what we have is where are all the Petco stores, where are the dog walkers, where are the veterinarian hospitals, all within a radius of that property. If you're in the physical fitness, right, and you want to go to the gym every day, but there's not a gym for 10 miles, you're probably not going to buy in that neighborhood. So we give them everything that's going on in this neighborhood, and of course, everything but Yelp reviews. Where we're getting the tattoos done, toenails done, hair done, et cetera, et cetera. And then what also comes along with the Neighborhood 360 is the Neighborhood Navigator, which is an AVM, or other words, tell me what my house is worth. And this is some of the best lead gen you can do. When somebody emails you and say, hey, Grant, can you tell me what my house is worth? You know, that's somebody that's engaged, right? That's somebody that's been getting your newsletter now for X amount of weeks. That's what we're doing. We're portraying you as a homeownership expert. And of course, anytime they fill out this form and fill out the reason on the right, the agent sees that, okay? Again, another conversation starter. I didn't say a hot lead. Just because somebody wants to know the value of their house, I'm not going to portray that as a hot lead. It's a conversation starter. So at the end of the day, we know what to send. We know when to send it. We know how to send it, right? We know how to get around spam filters. I can go on for hours about what we've built into our system to make sure that we get into the inbox and not get caught in spam filters, okay? If you're going to do that with a Constant Contact or an Email Monkey account, you're going to have problems. Again, we know how to create these conversation starters for you, and we know how to lock in exclusive value, because right now I would hope you wouldn't want your clients, prospects, and friends getting this from somebody else. And that's what I'm going to assure you that they won't, because bingo, you've got email exclusivity. Now, how do you subscribe to this? What I'm asking you to do is outsource your communication needs, your top of mind awareness building. There's 10 different words for it. But the idea is get into the home every 2 weeks with something that's valuable, that's going to get engaged, open, click, shared, et cetera, et cetera. So what we've done is Cami convinced me not to charge the agents there $99. So we're wiping out the $99 setup fee. She's taking care of that. And we're going to ask you to come in at $60 every month for as many months as you want. Cancel at any time, no contracts. Get your money back in the first month. Get your database back anytime. You own your database. We don't. We just nurture it for you. Also, was what we call the SMART plan. Most agents say, hey, I'll try this out for $60, even though it's guaranteed. And at the end of the first month, which means we have 2 newsletters on the street for you, because remember, we send this every 2 weeks. We're going to have 2 newsletters live for you, and you're going to be able to feel whether this thing is going to work for you. If it doesn't want to work, if you don't think it's ever going to work for you, cancel it. We give you your money back. Stay at $60 a month, or you can move to the $160, which is our quarterly payment plan. And that comes down to about $52, almost under $53 per month, instead of the $60 per month. So you're saving some more money there over the year. Again, what most agents do is they start out at $60. I convince them that this thing is working. Not convince them. I show you logically through our reports that this is working for you. And then many agents say, okay, guaranteed, boom, let's move to $160. And then it's payments every 3 months. And no contracts on that one either. We're not locking you into anything. This is a consistent way to build a system and have somebody nurture all these contacts for you, because the average agent using our program has 515 contacts, right? Some of them, they have no idea where the email addresses came from, and that's okay, because I'm going to help you build a relationship with somebody that you met at an open house 2 years ago. You never followed up with them. Why not? Well, because you didn't have a system. So what you have now is an opportunity to get a system. You have the first mover advantage to get your contacts in and protected. I will start working with you. I'll be getting calls after this presentation, literally, all afternoon. We did 3 others, the same thing today for other ROG offices. So we'll build your database, start building your database this afternoon, get it all done tomorrow. We'll get a newsletter on the street for you this week. And the first mover advantage, as I mentioned before, is get your list in and protected before other agents try to, enroll those same emails. Because in some offices, there's a lot of email addresses that would be in common. So I'm going to send everybody an order form, and then guarantee you we can start building your database today and then get it protected by today, tonight, tomorrow. You didn't even know this was an important issue when you woke up this morning. So if I interjected a little urgency in you, I think I did my job, because this stuff needs to be done and everybody knows it. And when 9 out of 10 agents don't have a clean database, and then you look at their repeat business rate and say, what if Home Actions could help me double my repeat business rate? Cammie, I think that would affect your bottom line too. So let's have some questions about the program, about the metrics, about pricing. Sorry about that. Let's open it up to anything you guys want. Grant, are you going to, is there a general unmute button?
Yep, I was just going to say, I thought about unmuting everyone, but if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and we'll do one at a time to kind of keep it organized. But
yeah.
Cammie,
you were able to see the results on your first send, right? We put all the agents in your account, and I think you had a 49% open rate. And Cammie, only one person unsubscribed from your newsletter. Do you want me to tell you who that is? I can't do that.
Who is it?
We have privacy around here. I can't do that. But Cammie, you can go into your control panel and find out who it was. That's fine. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's open again, as I said, to questions. If you've got anything, if you see any negatives here, why this wouldn't work for you. We have about 300 ROG agents using this program now. As Cammie mentioned, we also have a recruiting program, a recruiting option for owners. That's working very well. And we just have a content engine here. We know how to create good content. We know how to deliver it, and we know how to track it. That's what makes us different than anything else that's out there. Anyone raising their hand for a question?
Albert, Mike asked in the chat how he should sign up, and you said you're going to be sending out forms, right? To everyone?
I'll get a hold of Mike. Mike, I'll call you. In fact, Mike, I didn't put my phone number up here. Hold on a second, please. Mike, after the call, I'll just call this number here, and we can do it over the phone. 570-510-3507. And then, all we need is a credit card. You got to tell me which plan you want, the monthly or the quarterly. Get this thing built this afternoon. That's
okay. Can you, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Give me that number again.
570-510-3507.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right, and we'll get you all, we'll start building your relationship capital today.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, next question, please. Anybody else have any more questions?
No questions, anybody?
Cammie,
nobody has any more questions?
I think
everybody's just signing up, huh?
This is pretty Tech Tuesday. Yeah, and again, the last thing I need you guys to do is to sign up for my program and then go back to Cammie and say, hey, that guy from Pennsylvania ripped us off. Well, if that was happening, we wouldn't be on this call right now. All right.
I have a question.
Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name's Lachelle Stallings.
Okay, Alicia, thank you.
You keep mentioning building a database. What if we already have a CRM? Can it be integrated into what we currently have?
Yeah, are you using Sync?
No, I use Follow Up Boss.
Follow Up Boss. Well, we can export out of Follow Up Boss, put all your contacts into Home Actions, and then take your Home Actions database and put it in the Follow Up Boss up until the middle of May. What happens in the middle of May is we're going to be integrated with all these CRMs, so the contacts will flow automatically. But just because you have contacts in Follow Up Boss doesn't mean that that's a database. Think about this, all your contacts in Gmail, people have ever emailed you in Gmail, or you have ever emailed, they're all contacts too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have people that you put in the MLS for listing alerts?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get those out. Do you have your phone backed up anywhere? Is it the
Yes.
iCloud? Okay, we'll go into there and get those contacts out. So all your contacts probably aren't in Follow Up Boss right now. I will make sure they get there, and all your contacts, not just the ones that you put in Follow Up Boss.
Okay,
Because we could, most agents, literally about a third of their entire database is usually contacts found in Gmail
okay,
or
And
Yahoo
then-
or AOL, whatever you're using. So we're pretty good at getting, if we could see the data, we can get it out.
okay. And then my next question is, branding wise, if we're using different colors from Realty One Group Summit, can we change our, branding
Yes.
template for
Yeah,
the
this doesn't
newsletter?
have to be gold and black, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think that's what you're saying. That image at the top, we can customize that image to be whatever you want. I've got my Photoshop experts that'll work with you, and you just got to give us some ideas and we'll go and build, whatever needs to be built. But the way
Okay.
that the articles, the order in which the articles are in, the way they flow, the way they look, everything is customizable for you.
Okay, perfect.
And
Thank
most
you so
agents,
much.
that was a good question to answer, but I have one more comment after that. Most agents say, well, I don't want my newsletter looking like other newsletters that are going out. And that's irrelevant right now because no consumer will ever see two newsletters, right, from two different agents. So
Good point.
when we
That is a really
customize
good
yours,
point.
yeah, okay. Next question, please. Is anybody else doing something like this themselves? Trying to do it like we're trying to do it for you. Does anybody have constant communications going out to their sphere of influence? I didn't think so. Cammie, they'll probably tell you they do. Cammie, do you think my number of 9 out of 10 is accurate? No database?
Yep.
Okay, I'm glad, because some managers and owners will tell me, oh, well, no, I've got top producers here. And it's like, well, I'm glad you do, but they could be producing more if they were organized. Right?
Yep.
Because you can't
I mean,
make too much money.
I'll throw myself under the bus. Mine isn't great,
Oh,
so,
I never bash owners like that, Cammie, let me tell you.
but I can.
I'm telling you, I work with 50 right now, and 45 of them didn't have a database. Okay, a couple of them didn't know what broker metrics were. That system that you guys have access to. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm glad our numbers are, and this is what I meant for 20 years. 10, 15 years ago, it was the same. 9 out of 10 agents, no database. And you don't have a tech department that's going to build one for them. Grant, I don't think you're going to do this.
Unfortunately not.
No, you'd love to, right? But there's only, so many hours in a day.
Mhm.
Okay, well, listen, if there aren't any more questions, Mike, you give me a call at that number. We'll get this thing going. Grant, you're recording this so we could send it to other agents that missed it.
That's right.
All right.
We'll get it out to everyone,
And then send me a copy if you would, please.
of course.
And then if anybody's got any questions, we're here to do this. The pricing mechanism lasts until Saturday. Okay, so you got 5 more days to jump on the opportunity to save that 99. And I promise you that we're going to help you build relationship capital. And you're going to wake up in a couple days from now and saying, hey, now I have a system. Okay, and that's what all this takes is system. And as I started the conversation with you guys a little while ago, it's just a numbers game. All of real estate is a numbers game. And to the degree I can help you improve your numbers, then I did my job. Okay, well, thank you very much. Everybody's got my name, number, everything else through email.
Thank you, Albert. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So let's have